Well, good afternoon and welcome into our coverage on Sky Sport Next of the National League Championship. It is round 5 from Kiwitea Park and it's the Dominion Road Derby between United and City. Both teams, of course, of the city of Auckland. So a clash between two teams, the fourth time they have played, and it is Auckland City that have the advantage going into this one, having won 2 of those 3 prior encounters. Just confirming action this weekend. Wellington Olympic, that one just concluding, and Olympic have moved to the top of the table now with a 5-2 win over Napier City Rovers. In progress, the Phoenix up against Miramar, and of course we have the Dominion Road Derby here at Kiwitea Park. And there is confirmation of that live table. So Wellington Olympic with 4 wins, just the 1 loss. They're on 12 points. Auckland City can overtake them with a win here this afternoon, whilst Auckland United can overtake Auckland City if they were to get all 3 points this afternoon. Andrew Dewhurst with you alongside Hedamaya Nata and Harry. An Auckland derby, always a good prospect. These two teams, though, both unbeaten. Something's got to give this afternoon. Yeah,
absolutely, Andrew. The scene's set for this one, isn't it? It's quite an overcast day here in Auckland, but yeah, the conditions look pretty good for football. And as you said, both teams coming into this one unbeaten. Both had similar results last week. 1-0 win to Auckland United against Miramar and a 3-0 win for Auckland City against Napier. So absolutely looking forward to how this one shapes out this afternoon.
Yes, and Auckland City most impressive in that performance. Let's have a look at their lineup. They do make one change. So Dylan Manicum is into the starting lineup. Aidan Carey goes to the bench. But it's an indication of how good, how strong they are. I want you to look at the bench. Don't look at the starting 11, Harry. Look at that bench.
Absolutely. We talked about the bench. We even talked about the coaching staff. Riera, Visilic, and Zubakarai on there as well. So quite a tidy bench there. Balanga, House and De Vries. And obviously Cam Brown also.
And Cam Harrison back, of course, after suspension. So that's how they'll line up. Kilcolly leads the line. Joe Lee, of course, fresh off his goal of the week heroics in that 3-0 win against Napier last week. And for Auckland United, they make 2 changes to their lineup. Young Oliver Fay. Ollie Fay comes into the lineup. So too Billy Jones. Harshay Raniga is on the bench. But Ishibashi, 2 goals this season. He's out of the squad. And we're told that is tactical. Look for the likes of Michael Den Hire, former Auckland City player, to lead their midfield.
Yeah, look, again, Ignacio Machuca, who's been quite influential so far this season for Auckland United, again, on the bench as well. So definitely a tactical ploy here from Jose Figueira. You've got pace and tenacity up front with Josh Redfern and Ollie Fay Zubrano supporting from that number 10 role. So potentially looking for, to potentially press Auckland City quite high early on in this game.
Yeah, that's the word we're hearing from the coaching staff, is that Auckland United do want to force a high press. And if anything, we go back a few weeks, Birkenhead showed how to play against Auckland City, didn't they, in that opening half hour with that high press?
Yeah, look, Birkenhead were all over Auckland City, absolutely, in that first sort of 35, 40 minutes. They were so tenacious in the way, when they got in transitional play too, when they lost the ball, they worked hard to get it back and forced Auckland City into a lot of turnover ball, which is unfamiliar with the way Auckland City play, based on a possession-based football. So I'm sure Auckland United will take some points and some pieces of that and put it into play this afternoon.
Yeah, it's another thing to put that into action. It really can be draining, as we see Nick Waldron's in control of this one, vastly experienced. So too Emi Tade, who's captain of this Auckland City side, and what a quality player he is. We saw that against Birkenhead a couple of weeks back with the late show from Tade off the bench, as Ross Haviland makes his way across, the Auckland United skipper. Kiwitea Park has been home to top-level football in the Northern League for a long time. Of course, Auckland United are a merger of Three Kings and Onehunga Sports. Prior to that, Three Kings was Mount Roskill. I can't recall who they merged with at the time, but used to be Mount Roskill playing at this ground a long time ago. So they've seen a lot of football here, but what Auckland United has done over the couple of years that they've existed, Harry, something quite special, men's and women's game.
I'm just going to say, it's not just across the men's part of the club as well. The women's side has really had an influence and a focus from the club. Grassroots up as well. We talked about Onehunga Sport. They had a huge junior base So look, combining some pretty solid numbers across both genders and through their youth development as well. And they're serious contenders. You know, Waitakere and Auckland City were kind of the two clubs for a long periods of time from an Auckland perspective that were battling it out. But you know, Auckland United certainly have taken that mantle at this point in time.
And I've just done my research. It was Eden. It was Eden that merged with Mount Roskill back in the day to form what then became Three Kings. So we're underway, and it is Auckland City. They are the away team, but as we've described this, and I think it's a wonderful little moniker for this one, the Dominion Road Derby. They are literally at other ends of very famous streets in Auckland, and it is Auckland City who have made the short journey to play. There's Manicum, who, as I say, was the only change to the starting 11 from the Auckland City side. It's proved too strong for Napier, winning 3-0. And unable to control was Kilcolly, and a first sighting of Mac Waite. And conditions, as Harry described, very overcast, very humid in Auckland today. There's the threat of rain, and I have no doubt we'll see rain, but also the breeze here and appears to be favouring Auckland City in the first half, but the weather is a little changeable, can I tell you. So that breeze may turn around at different times, but at the moment it's favouring Auckland. Kilcolly now, edge of the area, intercepted though, and cleared away. Gariga will do a lot of that dirty work in midfield for Auckland City. Mario Illich will play that holding role just in front of a back four. And look for Manicum to be more connected with the attacking three.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we've seen in previous, not just this season, but previous seasons, the way, you know, Dylan Manicum, you know, fantastic technique, obviously futsal background. We've seen the same with the Eastern Suburbs with the likes of Amy Atkins on the left-hand side. Immediately when they get the ball, you can see the technique, they're futsal inspired, the way they use the sole of the foot to move the ball, very close ball control. So expect Dylan Manicum to link up well with Tade and Kilcolly up front.
United with a little space down this right wing side for Murati. He crosses early, way too much on that. Does find a teammate, but no real immediate threat on the Auckland City goal. And Illich is able to just calmly release the teammate. And it is the man who scored that goal of the week in the National League, who's robbed of possession, is Joe Lee. And having to get back is Mitchell in front of Redfern, who is one of just two players. In fact, Auckland United, between Redfern and Murati, Harry, they've only got 2 goals in the starting 11. Ishibashi has 2. He's not in the squad. I think there's been an own goal there as well for United this season, but it's not been a glut of goals from Auckland United through the opening 4 rounds. In 3 of those 4 rounds, they've got just the 1 goal in each of those games, as Tade time to shoot and just wide. Certainly had Waite thinking about the dive. And I don't think Mac Waite is overly thrilled with his defenders there, Harry, because you do not want to allow the Auckland number 20 that sort of time.
We saw the damage that he can do from that sort of distance a couple of weeks ago against Birkenhead United, where he came on as a sub and scored, albeit from the other side of the box on this left-hand side, but shot low to the right. And yeah, obviously scored the equaliser to share the points with Birkenhead. But you're absolutely right, outside the box, it's if it's a shot, or he can thread a pass and pick a player out.
United on the counter now, an opportunity through Zambrano. They use the full width of the pitch down this left wing side. Opportunity for Faye, the under-20 international, and they've got the opening goal. And that is stunning. What a finish on the volley from Zambrano, and that is counter-attacking football at its best. Soaking up the pressure, United, and within 2 or 3 passes, the ball is in the back of the net. That is quality.
Well, fantastic breakdown that left-hand side. Beautiful ball across the face of goal. And Zambrano, I'll get him making that the run from deep from midfield. And they've looked sharp. They started the game well, Auckland United, despite the couple of shots we've seen earlier on from Auckland City, but they take the advantage early in this first half.
Well, and that is straight out of the playbook, because when you're out of possession, high press, look to put Auckland City under pressure and see if you can pinch possession in midfield. But part of that game plan is when you are defending, be ready on the counter-attack when you do get possession. And that was superbly executed.
Absolutely. Well, again, we talked about it earlier. We saw, you know, the effect that as Auckland City looked to press high, but you put pressure on the ball. You know, any good player, you know, is restricted when they've got their head down, you know. So if you're closing the ball down really quick or closing the player down really quick, it gives them minimal options, and you force them into an error. So, but Auckland United again is finding some space in this midfield, which is great to see early on.
And they're spreading the ball as well now down this right wing side. It's Murati who just showed a little bit too much of that to his opposite number, Vale. Jordan Vale on the score sheet, the fullback last week when Napier City Rovers were pressing late in the game, and he benefited from a little extra space. But Auckland City.
But again, the way Auckland City play too, Andrew, they love to have those wide players pushing forward really early, and it's quite synonymous throughout the National League Championship. You see those wide defensive players pushing on early. You know, I think it was Andrew Blake on that left-hand side that cut that ball across for Zambrano, was able to exploit that space.
Well, Macwaite has done well there, and that's a good little example of the conditions not favouring Auckland. The breeze behind them, but that just really gave that through ball a little more added impetus. And momentarily, Kilcolly looked a chance, but it just kept racing away from him. And referee just calling a halt to proceedings. I think there may have been 2 footballs on the pitch just out of camera shot. It's like for like here, isn't it? Auckland City are pressing just as high when United are trying to play out from the back. And they are trying to play out from the back. That is a great way to beat the press. Zambrano now with space. Murati again, already in the opening 7 minutes, has had 2 or 3 opportunities to attack down this right wing side. United showing a little patience now. Jones across to Mogg. Andrew Blake would be very keen to put a positive showing here. Of course, a number of players have been in both camps at different times. It's the nature of derbies anywhere around the world. You often get players that have had a foot in both camps, and it just adds a little spice.
And it's also great to see a decent crowd here this afternoon too, and on that far side. It's a 4 kilometre distance between the 2 clubs, so for those fans who are here to support both teams, it's great to see.
Here's Redfern, Auckland United, attacking down that left wing side that delivered them a real result a few moments ago. Misjudged by Vale. Again, the wind a factor. Here's Michael Den Hire, just moves the ball very quickly. Auckland United showing good patience here, just maintaining possession. And if nothing's on, they're going back out and looking again. And the humid conditions are overhead very much so now, with a little thunder in the atmosphere. It's one of those late spring, early summer, hot, humid and very likely wet afternoons here in Auckland. Brotherton into Illich. He's put under pressure. Mitchell. Kilcolly with a good wriggle away, makes some space, gets away from Jones down to the byline, and Jones recovers the central defender. One of 3 at the back for Jose Figueira, playing pretty much a 3-4-3 lineup.
Yeah, interesting. He usually starts with 4 along the back, does Figueira. So we talked about the tactical change, going to a 3-4-3 formation.
Good ball to the far post. I tell you what, Illich might feel he should do better there. Good delivery from the corner, but he couldn't keep the header down.
Yeah, good chance from Auckland City. Ball to the far post. I think it was Zambrano just in front of Illich there, perhaps blindsided, but albeit it was a decent chance for Illich. Mitchell and Brotherton, quite comfortable at the back, and they have been for this season so far. 2 consistent performers for Alberiera.
So just confirmation as well, just coming through. 27 to the left of picture on your screens now is Ollie Middleton. All earlier correspondence and information had Middleton wearing 24, but he's out there wearing 27. As Tade controls. Gosh, he's just got such a wonderful touch. Gariga. Kilcolly has support from Vale, but United got themselves organised with a couple of lines of defenders. Here's Manicum. Look at that close control. A touch for Tade. Wriggles, finds some room and couldn't get past the final challenge. What an important slide that was from Haviland. And United clear their lines for the moment, and a whistle will further help them as they have a free kick.
Yeah, I think anywhere around that edge of the box, you've got Tade, you've got Manicum. Guys, we talked about close ball control, good technique, quick feet. Defenders really have to be aware, hold your line, stay organised, and just don't get pulled out of line. I mean, these as long as they're playing back and not playing around you or through you, and any shot from distance, I think Mac Waite, I think it'd have to be a pretty good effort to beat him from 25, 30 yards.
Tade, a rare poor touch. As we've just seen, it won't be the last squall to go through here. Umbrellas are up, but they're being held on to very tightly because with that rain has come a strengthening of the wind. United, courtesy of that 5th minute goal for Nicholas Zambrano. They have the lead here in the Dominion Road Derby. Lee. Spoke about it last week, Harry, in the call from Kiwitea Street alongside Jacob Spoonley. Joe Lee is the most left-footed right winger you are ever going to see, but it is no less effective.
Oh, look. There are a number of players that we heard it. I'm listening to a yellow card for Ross Haviland by the looks of things.
He's gone straight through the back of Tade here, so the skipper has to keep an eye on himself now for the best part of 75 minutes. And we're being told to Harry as we see a replay there of Haviland just catching Tade. And sorry, we've interrupted our flow on Joe Lee, but we are told that the officials are just keeping an eye on conditions, because wind and rain is one thing, Harry, but thunder and lightning is another. As the squall continues to smash down the park here.
He's just talking about players playing on different sides. I mean, Joe Lee's fantastic advert for that. We heard a piece, the England squad for the World Cup's going to be announced in a couple of weeks, and they're talking about, the versatility of someone like Kieran Trippier, right back, and quite easily can slot in at left back. So the versatility on, depending on what side. You got Curtis Mogg on this left-hand side for Auckland United, quite comfortable across the right-hand side as well. So again, naturally, left and right sided does bring a good balance to the team, but good players are able to play anywhere across that line.
Vale, who is operating down this left wing side. Little 1-2 with his captain. Back to Illich. Manikim as the rain gets heavier. Manikim is collected late and earns the free kick. No complaints from United here. So dangerous opportunity now come set piece time. And gosh, we're just talking left and right foot. I reckon this might be nicely set up here for Joe Lee. The angle, Harry, does it better suit a left foot strike here?
Yeah, naturally do, because you get that natural, I suppose, technique and curl going to that this far post here of Mac Waite. But
Ultade taking it quickly and almost catching our team out, but the camera crew are onto it. And they're in time to see Mac Waite also alert to the danger. It was pretty well played by Auckland City. The shot was able to be executed around the wall. It was just a hint that Mac Waite might have been out of position. Auckland United now through Fay, delivering the ball wide on the left. Here's Middleton. Jose Figueira, you talk about the players and crossing town, travelling down the road, as you say, Harry, 4 kilometres away to change your colours. But of course, Jose Figueira led Team Wellington to their only Oceania Champions League success in 2018, but led Auckland City to 2 NZFC titles, and I think he took Central to a Northern League title. So he knows Auckland City through and through. And nowadays, of course, in charge of Auckland United. These conditions really are a challenge now. It is warm. We must make that point. It is warm. It's a humid 20 degrees in Auckland today. But this rain certainly will make the playing surface a little quicker. Den Hire intercepting. Another one of those players. He's had a couple of spells at Auckland City. He's played a fair bit of football with the suitcase, though, hasn't he, Harry? Michael Den Hire. He's played in the Netherlands, Germany, Japan, New Zealand. He's well travelled. Might be a talking to, if not a yellow card, for Jordan Vale.
Is that Nicholas Imbrano? Is it? Yes, it is. Yeah, just caught him with that leading arm, Jordan Vale.
And we're seeing the aftermath, and that is the writing of the name in the notebook. But I can tell you the yellow card was shown. So it's a yellow card apiece. So Jordan Vale, just like Ross Haviland for Auckland United, has to just tread a little more carefully. It's early in the match, isn't it, to pick up a yellow card, especially for defenders. Zambrano just taking his time.
You're right, we talked about the bench, Jerry, earlier on, Haviland playing at the back, obviously, and who knows how the game is going to move throughout the course of the next, 30, 40 minutes, and if there are going to be changes that Auckland City makes. They've certainly got some experience and some quality on the bench to potentially, lure Ross Haviland. I'm sure with his experience, he won't fall for it, but it'll certainly play into the minds of substitutions, I'm sure, later on in the game, depending how it rolls out.
Oh, this is bucketing down now. It really is. Adam Bell, one of the youngsters at Auckland City, who's emerging into the first team. I'm pretty sure this might make it half a dozen appearances for Adam Bell. And that pass was a little too heavy. It's not great for football, but I wonder if my expert commentator alongside me is getting a little nervous. What are you doing? Running over the Auckland Harbour Bridge tomorrow, Harry?
Yeah, supposed to be donning the runners and making my way over the bridge with, I don't know, a few thousand people taking part in the marathon. I am only doing the 11Ks though, Dewey.
Well, you didn't need to go there.
I couldn't get the full marathon out the way this time.
Marati into the area, nice footwork as well, and plays that towards the near post into the side netting, but had Connor Tracy diving. Yeah, you could have just left it hanging. You know, people would have made their own judgment about what distance you were doing. But there we go, the 11K tomorrow. This is, again, great counter-attacking, wasn't it, Harry, from
Beautiful
United?
from Ollie Fay as well. He's had a good start to this season.
Part of Darren Baisley's squad in winning the Oceania Under-19 Championship and qualifying for the World Cup next year, Under-20 World Cup.
Yeah, former Sacred Heart player there with a number of young players coming through in the Under-17 side.
United pressing, seeing if they can put that plan to good effect, and they do. They win possession, and this is where it's crucial. Play one or two quick passes and get a strike on goal. And again, Jose Figueira, there is the game plan. Absolutely encapsulated.
Look, I think they've got some real quality going forward. Even we've seen Reg Marati on this right-hand side pushing forward a hell of a lot as well. But Zambrano and Fay, you know, pulling the strings. You've got Dan Hire, kind of that number 6, just sitting in front of the back three. They're a well-balanced side, Auckland United, and I think the tactical changes that that Figueira has made is currently working out okay for them.
So the rain looks as though it's settled in, but the wind has dropped away. And I reckon that will please both sets of players. I mean, Tade doesn't like the decision here. The throw will go United's way. Is that a fair comment, Harry, that players don't mind the rain so much, but wind can be a little more of an issue?
Absolutely, yeah. The rain is not an issue. Yeah, if it's not absolutely pelting down, obviously, but it's the wind that can make it really uncomfortable for both players and obviously for the spectators as well.
So another dose of thunder and the lightning. If it's not coming through on the pictures, the lightning, a very unscientific method, is 8 seconds away as Zambrano just stands on the ball, just halts his momentum a little.
He's finding a bit of room when they break in that transitional phase. Is Zambrano, and 2 or 3 times he's been picked out in around that centre circle when they've played out from the back, and he's been free. Both him and Ollie Fay are getting a lot of ball, a lot of possession in these sort of areas.
United have looked good in possession until they lose it, of course. Commentator's curse kicks in. Tade checks back, saw that he was going down a bit of a blind alley. He finds a little daylight in the form of Manicum. Manicum runs at them, goes past one, lovely ball. Kilcolly on the edge and just wide. Momentarily, that looked as though it was creeping inside the far post. Kilcolly slipping as he shot. What a good move here.
Yeah, nice first touch too. Second touch from Kilcolly just to get it out from under his feet. Curtis Mogg did just enough to put Kilcolly off on that one, and that one just scraped past the post, didn't it?
Tade, look at Haviland, so close, aware of the danger, and yet he just has to be very careful with that yellow card. Rain dominating proceedings as Marati the 2-14s. Nice ball for Zambrano, who again continues his run from midfield. He's want to do that, isn't he? Plays a pass but continues in support of the attack as the rain just gets harder again. Cats and dogs stuff here at Kiwitea Park. Tade. Back to Vale. Well, it's been a pretty good week weather-wise in Auckland. Very warm. We've had some clear days, but goodness me, it's just been saving it up for today, and the forecast for tomorrow is not much better as Waite clears under pressure. I don't think you're going to have to worry too much about hydration on your 11K run tomorrow, Harry. Just look to the heavens and drink a little of the rain that is forecast. Here's Tade again. He's had plenty of touches, Emi Tade, but only one or two in the danger area. Handy ball played in. So in the end, United have plenty back, and Haviland with a nice bit of composure, the captain. These conditions, Harry, players have to be just all that much more aware of a little slip or the ball just skidding off the surface.
You're right, particularly the ones currently on yellows too. Jordan Vale and Ross Haviland. But yeah, look, it's absolutely bucketing down. You can see it in that shot, how heavy this rain is now.
Well, this is going to test the playing surface here at Kiwitea Park. Yeah, we'll start watching as Kilcolly wriggles away, finds some room. A little unlucky, didn't win a free kick. Tade might make more of it though, drives one wide of the near post, but Auckland City settling into a pretty good spell here.
That's just horrible, isn't it? These conditions, but Tade, a lot of good work on this left-hand side, unable to find the target.
It is a dangerous game they play, just playing possession from literally six yards in front of their own goal, Auckland United. So far, it's served them well. Still, the Nicholas Zambrano volley is all that separates these two teams. I mentioned they've played three times previously. Auckland United, of course, very new as a club, as an entity. Those three games, Auckland City won the first two, 3-1 and 2-0. But then on the 3rd of September this year, Auckland United came out on top 2-0. And I know, Harry, that is a result that rankles a little with City. It's the only game they've lost in all competition this season.
Yeah, we know that obviously there's been a pretty dominant side in the national competition. But now they have some, I think some pretty serious contender now. I think these derbies are only going to get better. And I guess when you look at the quality of players on show here this afternoon, you know, for both sides, you know, and even we talked about the bench for Auckland City, and some of the players left out for, you know, for Auckland United, Ignacio Machuca, Harshe Raniger as well, former youth international. So you know, there is some quality here coming through. It's great to see.
Mog. Blake, who's very much hugging that left sided touchline. There's Redfern. That's a great challenge, isn't it? Oh, defenders love that. Mitchell with the chance to slide in on this rain-soaked surface. He got all ball. Illich just trying to facilitate. So the Auckland City #2, who very much into the penalty area here. Tade with a little trickery and was just surrounded in the ends, and Mogg is able to clear the danger.
Yeah, you just can't dive in with Tade in those sort of areas, because he just like he can dink a ball around you, he can draw a foul, and when he's inside the box in those sort of areas, you just have to be on your toes. Likewise, those defenders around him as well, because you know he could quite happy just one touch and lay someone else in.
He was involved in that goal for Joe Lee last week against Napier City Rovers. Lee made all the running, but then just used Tade as the little wall, if you like, played a little 1-2 inside the area. So as you say, Harry, the Argentinian has such great vision, not only to create chances for himself, but to bring teammates into the fray. Manicum. No foul. It's unusual. Another heavy touch there from Dylan Manicum. That's normally the best part of his game, that close control. Den higher. Redfern hassled by Brotherton, the centre-back, who'd followed the United #9. Appeals for handball, and supported from the sideline on that occasion, I think. Referee unsighted initially, but got some help. They are wired for sound, the officials. They can chat to each other, and on that occasion, right decision. Oh, goodness, Harry. This is as wet as I've seen conditions for a football match in a long, long time.
And it doesn't look like letting up any time soon as well. It's been pretty consistent on this for the last 15 minutes at least.
Redfern
Nice
with
ball.
a good touch. That's lovely. And then Marati didn't really follow it up with a good touch of his own, because he could well have been away there down that right wing side, Reg Marati. Albert Riera just bottom of the frame there. Always recognise Albert Riera. All you need to see is that those
The bow legs
of his
yeah.
that served him so well. Goodness me, what a player he's been. As Redfern picks it up, a mistake from Auckland City, and Fay just closed down quickly enough by Brotherton, who just scrambles it away before the corner is conceded.
No real other options there for Ollie Fay, but just I mean, there's a number of white shirts in the box there. Again, he's looking for Zambrano. You see just drifting in behind Adam Mitchell.
Well, it's one thing for the players and the officials, but a little shout out to our crew who are bringing you these pictures on Sky Sport Next. As Kilcolly away. Now, what colour's this card?
It's not Haviland, is it?
It's not Haviland,
No.
it's Billy Jones. But Billy Jones has really left his fate very much with Nick Waldron here. Billy Jones has flown in here, totally committed. It's yellow. And the only thing that saves Billy Jones is how wide that was on the pitch, Harry.
Yeah, and it was on halfway. Yep, just over halfway. But, you know, you've got 2 out of your 3, back 3 now on yellow cards. You know, with 35 minutes in the first half. So that's going to be that is going to be a real concern for Auckland United, I feel. You know, there was no one behind. I think it was only
might have been Mogg.
Was it Curtis Mogg on the other side cutting across, but it was green pasture in front of Angus Kilcolly.
I think Billy Jones is very lucky, very fortunate. It's one of those ones, Harry. What are your thoughts? It's one of those ones that if a referee goes red, you can't argue. He's gone yellow, you kind of can't argue. It's up to the referee's discretion there, isn't it?
Absolutely.
And Jones is lucky he's gone yellow, Nick Waldron. Gariga. Manicum. 35 minutes played. United lead at 1-0. Here's Lee, who's hardly been an influence after he was a dominant performer just a week ago against Napier City Rovers. United have done their homework. And if anything, Harry, they're just not letting him get the ball. It's being stopped before it gets to the Auckland City number 16.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, you know, we're looking at the way Auckland's City play. They do like to use their wide players and get them pushed forward, but if you're stopping those balls into the box, you're stopping the supply early on, it's much more comfortable for your defenders to stay organised, and you're keeping those white shirts in front of you. They're not making runs in behind because the ball's just not getting there because it's getting stopped in the middle of the park.
I mentioned the conditions for our crew. They're doing a wonderful job, but I'll tell you what, the humidity and the moisture, no surprise if we have to wipe a lens or two this afternoon. It's a real challenge, and we're starting to see a little surface water. Every now and then, I mean, this pitch is holding up superbly, but every now and then, Harry, just a little splash. Here is Lee. Bell, who stayed forward, the fullback, immediately is turned back towards halfway. Vale. Illich. Vale does cross on that occasion, not with any degree of accuracy though. Just confirming that just as we went to air, Wellington Olympic picking up another win this afternoon. 5-2. So they are scoring some goals, Olympic. And gosh, you go back to that round one when they were defeated 2-1 by Auckland City, and by all accounts unlucky not to get something out of that game. Tade looking to curl one, never quite had the purchase on the football.
Yeah, you can see what he was trying to do, and just his execution wasn't what he was looking for. Just looking to bend that one inside. Didn't get enough curl on that one to beat Mac Waite at all, or force him into a save even. But Auckland United be quite happy that, you know, Auckland City haven't been able to, you know, get in behind them at all. It's all been in front of them at this stage from a defensive perspective.
Emi Tade, far post ball, dangerous. No teammate making that run. Even without an Auckland City player in the vicinity, it was cleared away under pressure. A little nervy there from Auckland United on that occasion, and Joe Lee will have the set piece with the corner. Mac Waite struggling. Zambrano has been a hero at the other end of the park, and on that occasion had to play defender. And for now, anyway, the rain has just quietened down a little. It is going to be, as I say, one of those afternoons. We'll see those squalls come through, and I have no doubt it's not the last we'll see of the precipitation. So for now anyway, conditions about as good as they've been. all afternoon. Wellington Olympic, Harry, just a reference to them 5 matches in. I've got them, my rough maths, 15 goals. So they're an attacking force, aren't they?
Oh, they've, yeah, some great, really good players, tidy players up front. Bazookas, Killian Gould as well.
I'm sure they'd relish the next opportunity to take on the men from Kiwitea St. An opportunity, of course, they will get later in the campaign. Bell defending well. Five minutes until half-time. United may have weathered the storm literally and metaphorically, although I'm sure Auckland City will have plenty left in the tank here. 5 minutes before the break. We saw that against Birkenhead. They were down and out. 2-0 down to 10 men. And they finish up drawing that one against Birkenhead a few weeks ago. So you just never count Auckland City out. I reckon they might even score. I don't know, maybe from the car park after the game's finished. You just got to get clear of the ground. Just get away from the ground and wait and read it in the paper tomorrow. They have that pedigree. And that little break in the rain, I thought it might have quietened down considerably, but still being brought in by this strong breeze. Zambrano, Marathi, as he has been all match, available down this right wing side. Blake hasn't really been an influence in an attacking sense, has he, so far, Andrew Blake? He's just kind of been a link in that midfield, but we know the threat he can bring if he's given room down that left wing side.
Yeah, I think they're just doing enough, and particularly in the middle of the park and at the back for Auckland United. They're pretty solid. You know, they're organised. I think their midfield is working really well to put pressure on those ball players. So, you know, like Zambrano, Ollie Fay, and even, you know, Oliver Middleton as well, working very hard.
Bell, Mario Illich, Gariga, lovely connection there with Tade Gariga. He tries to curl one, well saved Waits. Had to get down with a strong left hand. The execution on the shot was superb.
Yeah, that
the save was better.
That was better from Auckland City. Nice, nice save from Mac Waite, because you know, you see that additional kind of fizz off the surface as well. He did well to get down to his left. Switch
of play from Tade. That might be the only way Joe Lee gets possession, is with a 40-metre pass. He shuffles in. Tade picks his spot and hits the back of the net. And there is the threat. There is the danger. And Auckland United pay the biggest price. And Emi Tade scores again for Auckland City.
Oh, what a strike from Auckland City captain. Again, good work from Joe Lee. And the ball just found its way into Zambrano. What a strike from the Auckland City captain from that sort of distance. We've seen him score from those exact distances and areas before. And Auckland United would be so disappointed they weren't able to close out the first half with their noses in front. But credit to Auckland City, as you said before, Andrew, they don't get flustered. They just play their game. They keep chipping away. They keep working. It just goes to show the signs of a very experienced and quality side. And they are in the mood, it would appear, to
get a little more out of this first half. Waits on that occasion, happy just to clear that away up towards halfway. There was no thought of maintaining possession there.
+1.
And huge credit to the ground staff, to all involved, those at the club, those from the council. This playing surface, Harry, has withstood this onslaught of rain superbly well. Yeah, there's a bump or two, but I tell you what, for all the rain that's fallen, it's showing no
it's holding up well,
at all.
doesn't it? Absolutely.
We reach the end of the regulation 45, and we have a minimum 1 minute of time to be added at the end of this first half. It's a half that Auckland United started strongly, scoring after 5 minutes, but it's City who finished the stronger. Tade away from Haviland, who's on a yellow card. Tade down to the byline and can't get beyond Mac Waite at the near post.
Come on, Dylan, delay. Yeah, delay, yes.
Blake back to Mogg. Bell happy just to see that one out over the sideline.
It's on Nick now.
Referee Nick Waldron blows for half-time. It was Auckland United who came out of the traps the better of the two teams. They opened the scoring through Nicholas Zambrano after 5 minutes. It was a stunning goal. There were moments of controversy, and I reckon Tade's talking about that right now. Billy Jones bringing Kilcolly down on the halfway line. A yellow card only for the Auckland United defender. And then it was Tade himself in the 44th minute who scored the equalising goal and did so superbly from outside the penalty area. So they go to the break here, and they may well enjoy a nice cup of tea on a very, very wet day here in Auckland. Half-time, it's Auckland United 1, Auckland City 1. Some highlights here from the men's match at Kiwitea Park of the women's match, top of the table, Harry, between Western Springs and Suburbs and Auckland Derby, and this was a bit of a goal fest, wasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. These two sides unbeaten going into this round. Taylor O'Brien opening the scoring for Suburbs with a...
What, she got 100 goals this year?
Yeah, well, I think she's on her way underneath Tui Samoa, who's been pretty good in goal this season for Springs. Devon Jackson, she's a busy player as well this season, scored a number of goals, but gets herself in these types of positions more often than not.
This was Peinenberg with a great opportunity from a long way out. So we saw Jackson miss earlier, but she didn't miss the second time.
Yeah, look, great run inside her defender there of Maggie Pedersen, I think it is, on the right-hand side for Springs, but what another fantastic finish from Devon Jackson. This Taylor O'Brien, again, has been so busy all season up front for Suburbs.
And, this was a threat from Springs again. They were close, weren't they? This was end-to-end stuff under lights last night. So how good is this, H?
Yeah, Charlotte Wilford Carroll, what an awesome strike that is from just outside the box over to Samoa and goal. And that really did send Suburbs on their way.
Yeah, 3-0 at that point. And they continued to attack. And how about this from O'Brien? Look at her arrive, boom, The ball hits her, she scores.
Yeah,
She's just a magnet for the football.
A lot of space for Amy Atkins on that left-hand flank to pick across. There's not a better player inside the box than Taylor O'Brien at the moment.
Springs fought back though, didn't they?
They did. Lara Colby here, back from the Under-17 World Cup, scoring on her first game back. And it was quite a fortuitous goal as well. Sort of bit of a mix-up there in goal.
They worked down Western Springs. They continued to fight, and it was Takeda, the Japanese imports. Lovely, lovely strike. Curling that one in. Takeda made it 4-2 as we then caught up with the respective captains. Lily Jervis first up after the match with their thoughts on a 4-2 win for Suburbs.
Well, Lily, it was a contest between the top two unbeaten teams, but your side were distinctly second best today.
Yeah, absolutely. Credit to Suburbs. They were great today, that first half. They came at us and they played probably how we should. I think we fought back well in the second half, but when we're throwing that many numbers, we're bound to get caught on the counter. So had a lot of opportunities to score in that second half, didn't take them. So credit to Suburbs, deserve the win there.
Yeah, especially at the start of the second half, you had a couple of really good chances. Obviously, it was important you scored first, but then caught on the break for their third. How disappointing was that?
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely disappointing. I think had we put one of those away early on, it's maybe a different game. But yeah, we didn't, and we just throwing numbers and numbers, trying to get that goal, and like you say, caught on the break.
How do you turn this around when you meet them again?
Yeah, I think we need to be quicker on the ball. We were too slow today. We were off the pace. Like I say, credit to them. They were quick, they were fast, they moved the ball well, moved the ball better than us, especially in that first half, and I think the first half was kind of the break. They had two goals going into the break and then a quick third, so we were sort of out of it by then. But I think if we play how we normally play, played a bit quicker, we can take them.
Well, disappointing night, but good luck for the rest of the season.
Thank you.
Well, Rebecca, was that the most complete performance Suburbs have put in this year?
I would have to say yes. I think from the outset we knew that we just had to work super hard and put them under heaps of pressure, and I think in the first 45 especially we just showed that like if we can get on top of teams that we can go and like score heaps of goals, and I think that was I think first half definitely more than the second half.
Coming into the game, what was the focus to get on top of them given they were also unbeaten?
I think we just said it was our work rate off the ball, so we just had to, as soon as we could, put pressure on them and everything else would build from that. So if we could press them high and then we can try and keep the ball and retain it from there.
How enjoyable has the season been so far?
It's been really good. It's been awesome. I think there's just a massive fun ethic in our team right now, and yeah, it's good.
And it must be enjoyable travelling around the country playing the other federation teams as well.
Yeah, it's awesome, especially because like along in RFL season you kind of play the same team, so it's nice to get to play different people and stuff like that as well.
Brilliant. Well, all the best for the rest of the season.
Thank you so much.
So really good performance from Eastern Suburbs, and they're making every post a winning post so far. 4-2 over Springs. The rest of the action in the National Women's League, Capital play Canterbury. That one is underway. Auckland United here at Kiwitea Park. That one tomorrow against Central at 2:30, and then Southern United against Northern Rovers. So another round of action in the National Women's League Championship. Confirmation of what that result last night did. It provided some real separation. Suburbs now 5 clear of Springs, but the Auckland teams, the northern teams, dominating. Harry.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that was a really exciting game. I think Springs are a lot better than what they showed against Suburbs, but just goes to show the quality of Eastern Suburbs at the moment all over the park. They're a dominating team and a very good side. So
we'll have that one for you on Sky Sport Next. Auckland United against Central Football. So back here at Kiwitea Park, and I've got to say it's standing up incredibly well. So the women need have no concerns about the impact of the rain on the playing surface for tomorrow's fixture, albeit there is a lot more rain forecast over the next 24 hours. Taylor O'Brien, I said she'd scored 100. She's only 87 off that. I mean, 13 goals though. It is ridiculous, her strike rate.
Yeah, look, and I guess Kelly Brown is another one, Northern Rovers as well, been quite prominent, scores a lot of goals in regular season. But yeah, look, you can't take anything away from Taylor O'Brien. Anything around the box, she's absolutely deadly, and she's getting good service from out wide, from Marina Wong, or it's Amy Atkins on the left as well. So, and you see Devon Jackson there supporting from 6 goals from a Suburbs perspective as well.
So plenty of players would be well pleased with their efforts so far in that National Women's League. Well, 1-1 here at the break, and as you can see, the weather is dominating. Both teams, though, Harry, are coping pretty well, and we've seen a reasonably open, entertaining half of football. And I think probably fair enough that it's 1-1 at the break.
Look, absolutely. They started off with a hiss and a roar, didn't they? This was the opening goal for Zambrano, just ghosting in between a couple of defenders. This was early on after they started putting some pressure on Auckland City early on in this first half, and Auckland City were reverted to a number of shots from this sort of distance. They didn't actually, a lot of time get in behind Auckland United. They did on a couple of occasions. This one a bit of a wayward strike from Tade. Tade's been obviously the dominant player, the go-to player for Auckland City in this first half. Everything that he's touched has been in and around this area, and this was a fantastic strike from the Auckland City captain to get them level going into the break.
But he just scores from there. I mean, a lot of players, it's 50-50. If Tade gets that chance, he's probably scoring 9 out of 10.
But I think also his experience. I mean, it was a cool and calm strike. He didn't try and welly the ball or just whack the leather off it. It was a well-timed, executed strike, really composed.
So players will have these conditions to cope with in the second half. Wellington Olympic, their job's done for the weekend, 5-2 over Napier City Rovers. Miramar Rangers, that result now final. So Miramar, that's a good win for them in a Wellington derby over the Phoenix Reserves. And right here at Kiwitea Park, it's 1-1 in the Dominion Road derby. So let's have a look at the live table. Updated anyway for those matches that have concluded. If this stayed the way it was, Auckland City go to 11, Olympic would stay on top, Auckland United would go to 9. Then you go to Birkenhead, but Miramar Rangers, that win lifts them out of the bottom couple on the table. The Phoenix Reserves mid-table with those 5 points. So all to play for at this early stage of the season. Who's scoring the goals? Harry, there's been some great goals scored so far this season, and there is Wellington Olympic. We've talked about their goal scoring prowess, and they've got 2 quality players at the top of the charts.
Yeah, look, Gianni Bazoukas and Jack Henry Sinclair, again, 2 quality players up front for Olympic. Gavin Coughlin as well. I mean, we called the game, Gordy and I, against Melville last week, and everything that Cashmere did going forward went through Coughlin. He was just that extra bit of quality up front that they need. De Vries, we know, coming off the bench today potentially. Tade, we know what he can do.
So and he's gone to 3. He's gone to
Edward
3.
Wilkinson. He's a really top player. I've seen him a couple of times this season for Christchurch United, leading the line there, and obviously Hiroshi Kamata, who's absent this afternoon.
Yeah, left out of the squad. So let's have a look at a few of those goals, perhaps, as we reflect on some of the action from the Men's National League Championship so far this season. Of course, change prior to this season with reverting back to a winter club competition, so teams are coming out of their respective regional leagues and carrying that form, and I think we've seen some pretty good matchups as a result. Let's have a look at some of those goals.
Addison in the wayward pass. Hirano intercepts that on that occasion. Garcia, Hirano now, 1-on-1. Here's Hirano. Oh, great footwork. And it's in. It is a goal from Hirano. Well, thought that one may get away from her, but she did choose to find the back of the net on that occasion. Rina Hirano. A bit of pressure playing off for Western Springs.
And here is Tade with Howison sweeping forward. This is looking likely here for Auckland City. Howison early ball in, and there is the goal, beautifully done. Ryan de Vries opens the scoring. Superb combinations from the attacking trio. It only takes one moment of brilliance and everything can change again. And this is looking better. Nice little play here. This is beautiful from Birkenhead. And just as I talk, up the Miramar Rangers defence, Birkenhead United break it down, and Alex Connor McLean has got Birkenhead United's second goal, and it was a cracker.
Good pressure too from Jackson. Here she is again. The second chance, and it's a goal. Suburbs have struck straight back against Northern Rovers this afternoon. Devon Jackson.
Gullet onto the right foot. Beautiful pass. Jack Henry Sinclair's onside.
Nice goal.
That's a brilliant finish by Jack Henry Sinclair. One of the most exciting players in the National League Championship. And Wellington Olympic doubled the lead.
And that is tough. To keep doing that, that's why it's so important to score when you get those chances.
And there is the goal.
So the teams make their way back out onto Kiwitea Park, and well, they might have been wishing against all hope that perhaps the rain might have stopped while they were inside, but no, Harry, it's continued. I reckon it might be here with us now for the next few hours this afternoon. I thought we might have seen one of those squally Auckland afternoons where the rain comes and goes, but it's unfortunately not gone anywhere. What do you expect? Second half, two teams that know each other well, two coaches that know each other well. Tactically, they've got all the tricks in the bag. What do you expect?
I think if it goes another 10 or 15 minutes like this, I think, you know, we'll start to see some changes. And I think when you look at the Auckland City bench, we've talked about it at the top, you know, there certainly is some quality. Albie Ferreira can make a couple of changes. He can move things around. There's enough quality on there to make a difference. From an Auckland United side, I think, you know, just that last sort of 10-minute spell, I think towards the end, they were fairly organised for me. That goal that for Tade just outside the box, just the lapse in concentration just outside the box, not enough, you know, energy, I guess, to close the ball down on that occasion. But I think they've been pretty good. I think Ferreira will be reasonably happy the way they've played, particularly in the first 10 or 15, their transitional play when they're coming out of the back into midfield. Murati on the right, I think they've got to get him, again, active, involved from the start as well.
Auckland United get the second half underway. They'll want to start the second half as they did the first. They were first to score after 5 minutes through Zambrano. And they now are playing with the swimming pool end of Kiwitea Park behind them. And that's not some clever little cliche or joke. There is literally a swimming pool here at Kiwitea Park. The cameras, if you like, are shooting from the Akarana golf course side of the ground. It's nestled nicely into a recreational area, isn't it, Harry, out in this part of Auckland?
It's not a bad backdrop, is it, Andrew, there on the back of Kiwitea Park. Beautiful, beautiful setting.
Of course, mentioned at the top of the show that something has to give. These two teams are both unbeaten. Auckland's coming into this round on top of the table, 3 wins, 1 draw. United with 2 wins, 2 draws, sitting a couple of points back. We know that Wellington Olympic has since played a little leapfrog, which is pretty apt in the conditions, but Wellington Olympic have gone to the top of the table as Manningham has fouled. But these two teams might yet both be unbeaten still at the end of this if they can't be separated. Here's Lee, closely attended to by Mogg. Lee wins it back. And he is clipped by Middleton. Just taking a little too much contact. May have got the ball, Middleton, but he also clipped the heels of Joe Lee. That might be crucial for Auckland as well, Harry, because Lee was involved in the goal, but has been pretty well monitored by Curtis Mogg. If Lee can find some some space, a little wriggle room, then he can be a real threat for Auckland City.
He's definitely one player that, with glimpses of quality, isn't he? Again, I love to see players with quick feet, and he's certainly one of them. I think Zabrana's the other one. Ollie Fay, Mannequin. We saw Mannequin foul on the halfway line after a beautiful little turn. Just didn't get it on that replay there, but it's certainly the scene is made for ball players. I think both teams love to have ball at feet. I think that whilst there is a lot of energy on both sides, in a way, both teams are comfortable playing under pressure as well. I think that shows the quality that there is across both these sides.
Blake, little space. He's hardly had an attacking opportunity, has Andrew Blake. Just threatened to open up a little there. Michael Den Hire, if I'm not mistaken, he's had a change of footwear. Pretty sure he was in the yellow boots in the first half, Harry, so perhaps he's put the longer studs on. As into the area it goes, and Auckland City a little fortunate to clear that one away. I'm not sure they knew too much about it. Bell. And they just overplay things. Don't know, football boots, do they still have studs, Harry? I mean, so often they're cleats, aren't they, these days? But I reckon Den Hire has gone for the wet weather boots, if you like, anyway, in the second half.
It does look like he has changed his footwear. I think we find maybe a few others may have changed their footwear as well, because with all that rain, there certainly would have been the ground to be a lot softer under surface. I think if you're a defender in these sort of conditions, you don't play with anything but studs, I think.
Haviland. Little space for Mirati to try and exploit Brotherton. Good composed pass for Tade. Kilcolly may well have stayed no. I thought he was marginal, and he had strayed offside. Angus Kilcolly, who in this Auckland City side, I reckon whoever's in that number 9 spot, I reckon you play half the game looking over your shoulder, seeing who's warming up. When you've got the likes of De Vries waiting on the bench, you've just got to try and find a way, haven't you, Harry, to keep your head down, do your job, knowing that there's quality waiting.
At the end of the day, it is a team game, isn't it? And I think yes, you give as much as you can until the coach says, well, we're going to change this, or this, or we're going to change this tactic, what means we're going to have to change personnel. I mean, players, that you accept that, don't you? I guess you never like to get dragged or get substituted. You always want to play, but it's for obviously the greater need of the team at the point in time.
Good young player though, isn't he, Kilcolly?
Yeah, absolutely.
He's emerging, and one of a real crop of young players, and we're seeing others, the likes of Fay, Middleton, Joe Lee, Bell. There are a number on display in this match, let alone throughout the National League. And was delighted to call as Mogg with a good challenge, helped by Den High. Had to get the timing right there, Curtis Mogg. He really committed. But, I did get the chance, Harry, to call a few of the matches from Tahiti, the under-19s, and gosh, we've got some talent in that group. Darren Baisley managed through to that title and World Cup qualification. Zambrano, Redfern, and broken up, and Lee with a chance to try and stretch the legs. Hasn't had too many of these opportunities, has Joe Lee, but he's a real threat, isn't he? And maintains possession through Mannequin. Tade just forced square, and United just halt the momentum for the moment. Adam Bell. United really defending well there, Harry. They just slowed the momentum, got players back, and then pinch possession.
Yeah, they just, particularly with Mannequin playing in that kind of number 10 role, for want of a better term, they have the ability to play through the lines as well, particularly from the likes of Illich and Gurriga.
They've given it away cheaply now, though, United, and they've got to react quickly again. Tade, waits for support, has it in Vale, and that pass just played behind his captain. And now they're a little susceptible here to the counter-attack, City. I'm sure Redfern's got too many players in support. He finds Zambrano, just so close. If Zambrano takes that in his stride, that's a real opportunity. Turned over by City. Both teams guilty, Harry, of not treasuring possession early in the second half. Driven in straight at Connor, and pretty easy save by Connor Tracy there.
Looks like we've had a break in the rain too, Andrew, by the looks of things, which will be respite not only for the players but the supporters there as well at Kiwitea Park.
So first to blink is Albert Riera, and it's Adam Bell being replaced by Aidan Carey. So never quite know what's happened there, whether Bell might have been tightening up a little, or whether that's just a case of fresh legs defensively, but pretty much a straight swap. Illich and Den Hire, Harry, you just same job.
Yeah,
you could switch those guys out, couldn't you?
You could.
And
I mean,
they're doing the same job for their teams.
Absolutely. I think every quality side you see with that has that that player breaks up play, that number 6 role, central just sits in front of the either it's defensive 3 or 4 or 2 central defenders. And is just essentially is the link player when you have the ball, or controls the tempo, or is able to step, obviously break up play when threatening teams do come through. Players do make themselves available in the middle of the park, picking up pieces just like Den Hire is doing in this occasion here.
Yeah, and then springing his teammates forward with a good pass. Middleton, Blake. Early delivery, it's good too, looking for Zambrano. Well defended, I think a combination there of Brotherton and Mitchell, who are forging quite the central defensive partnership. As that is cleared away by Billy Jones for United. Auckland City still have firepower with the likes of Cam Howison, their club skipper. Ryan de Vries still available on the bench. And for United, perhaps the likes of Harshay Reniga or Machuca, the Chilean. So you would think respective substitutes might still play a part in the closing half an hour or so. Clipping of the heels, no complaints from Jordan Vale, and I don't know that there was anything too malicious there, Harry, just players crossing paths, and Vale, in trying to get forward and support the attack, just brings a United player down. No card. And I was very calm in describing that, Harry, and it's just been brought to my attention from our crew that Vale is on a yellow card, so his heart might have been beating a little quicker as Lee gets the heart rate up now. Down this right wing side, look for him to cut in on the left foot. There he goes, Lee, and again looking for the shot on the left foot, and drives it. Might well have been on target until it hit the back of a teammate.
Yeah, we were just waiting for that one from Joe Lee, wasn't it? Cuts inside once, 1-2 touch. Den Hire comes around, looks to create an angle and a yard of space to shoot on goal.
Zambrano little nutmeg, and the referee, Nick Waldron's going to go back for the offside. So playing advantage, but did not come to fruition. So Auckland United with the free kick. The offside flag was up. Well, still, these two teams can't be separated, and we're now, if not deep into the second half, we're certainly far enough into it to see a pattern emerge as that one goes wide of Connor Tracy's goal. What is the pattern, though, that you're seeing, Harry?
I actually just saw at the top of the screen there, Ross Haviland grab his hamstring as he... I think we're going to see Connor Tracy just wait us. If we get a shot here, I think Haviland is clutching his hamstring. Yep, there he is.
Oh, that's classic, hamstring gone. So, well, they will at least get some attention here to Ross Haviland, but this does not look good for the United skipper. And I'm not sure this was the change that Jose Figueira was thinking about from a tactical perspective. Haviland is on a yellow card, but he's far too important to this team. But he's gone, Harry. Well spotted.
Yeah, it's probably going to be Harshay Ranega. Yeah, Red Ranega coming on. Or just a straight swap for Haviland.
Well, let's hope that's not too serious. Walking reasonably freely. I talk about grades in hamstring tears.
Hamstrings are horrible. They are the worst.
Oh, Harry, don't talk to me about hamstrings. Oh, my goodness me. Don't start.
How long
that
have we got, Dewey?
Oh,
we've got kind of, what have we got?
We've got a lot.
30 minutes.
We've got a lot longer than my hamstrings ever were. Put it that way. Goodness me. Ian Park was a coach when I was playing at Howick, and I think he thought I bought a couple of hamstrings on sale at Woolworths. And here's an opportunity now for Murati down this right wing side. So it was a good dangerous ball into the penalty area. So Auckland United having to reshuffle, but they respond out of the injury break and the substitution with a good positive incisive move. So we approach the hour mark, and often the hour mark is a time for coaches. They either predetermine or, as the match reaches that point, decide they need to see if they can have an impact from the bench. So we'll see if there are changes in the wind or in the rain, as is the case today. And that'll be easy for Connor Tracy.
Yeah, drop Dylan, get it, Dylan. Look, Dylan! Narrow one, go. Click.
Then higher. Well have come off the hands of Ranega, but not deemed to have warranted a free kick.
He stepped well there, Ranega, because he saw the threat inside. Fortunate for him too. It wasn't blown for handball, but on his toes. Harshay Ranega just come on for obviously Haviland with that horrible hamstring injury a few moments ago.
Middleton, lovely touch here from Oliver Fay, and he releases Blake. Blake now with a chance really to be incisive into the area, and a great chance and a great goal. That is superb from Auckland United. What a finish. And again, it's an interchange of players, one or two passes, good attacking intent, and what a quality finish this is from Fay.
Yeah, he did well, Holly Fay, just on the other side of the halfway line. Again, any good player, any young player watching this, you pass, move. If I pass the ball to Redfern, how can I influence the game? I can run past him and I can get into the box.
What a great finish from Ollie Fay. Exciting young player. But he made that goal, Ollie Fay, as well, because he managed to get some room, find some space out of the middle of midfield, used his pace to get past his defender, interchange of passes with Andrew Blake. And what a wonderful finish.
Well, United won the most recent encounter between these two teams back in September. The only defeat for Auckland City in all competitions this season. And they've just given themselves the favourites tag, perhaps to repeat the dose. Carey living life dangerously though. Manages to win a couple of challenges there. And now a chance for Lee, trying to get around the back of Mogg. The defender was strong though. Gosh, that was small margins. And a through ball from Blake, looking for Redfern. Keep your eyes on this match, folks. There's a goal threatening almost with every attack. What is the response from Auckland City? Lee can't keep that one in play. And we are going to see Albert Riera ring the changes. So Illich replaced by Howison. So the club skipper, who was sent off against Birkenhead, he replaces Mario Illich, perhaps with more attacking intent out of midfield. And Ryan de Vries is on for Kilcolly. So Riera has rolled the dice. Harry?
Well, I think it's a fairly safe roll of the dice as well, because you get nothing but quality from Cam Howison and Ryan de Vries. So if you're looking for two game changes, well, at least Ryan de Vries from an attacking perspective, if you're chasing the game, there's none better in the league than Ryan de Vries that can throw you a lifeline. See Ollie Fay again in the thick of it. Adam Mitchell just a bit late there.
Lee turning possession over. So too does Michael Den Heyer. Manicum. So let's see if the changes have an immediate impact. They do, in the sense that Ryan de Vries forces a corner for Auckland City. We've seen Auckland City fight back from tougher circumstances already this season. Tade, dangerous ball played in, well cleared away by Jones. Carey all the way back to Connor Tracy. Zambrano, little touch off Nick Waldron. Does not interrupt the flow, so play continues. And Auckland United are in a good flow. Let's see if Auckland United are brave enough to continue with an attacking mindset. You never want to sit back against Auckland City.
Get ready, right up. Up.
Jones, who picked up that yellow card earlier in the match for a fairly cynical foul on Kilcolly. Lee bundled over, no free kick given. Fair enough, the challenge, according to the referee. What do you think, Harry? Just a little shoulder-to-shoulder action?
Yeah, I don't mind a bit of referee, just as long as he's consistent. I mean, other refs would have pulled that one up for a foul. So, but for me, I'd be happy to see that one play on as well.
So United responds, and Jose Figueira does have that luxury, doesn't he, that he can respond. He can wait and see what Auckland City do. And it's Middleton who makes way for Machuca.
Yeah, Ignacio Machuca. I think usually see him, or Zambrano and Machuca usually either one of them play in that number 10 role, but both are very good, very similar players. So you've got the likes of Zambrano, Machuca and Faye, you know, very good players, attack-minded players as well. So, you know, Auckland United are prepared to continue to push and not actually, you know, take off a substitution and put a defender on.
And it opens up for them here. A heavy touch from Redfern when, gosh, a good first touch there surely results in Connor Tracy being tested in the Auckland City goal. Zambrano swings the cross in. Connor Tracy relieved to see that it was a teammate closest. And Aidan Carey wins the goal kick for his team.
Come on, Dylan, come on.
And that's just been passed out of play. Not sure if Tade is disputing that or just questioning the accuracy of the pass from a teammate. I think it was the former, suggesting the whole of the ball had not crossed the whole of the line. Brotherton. A match played in the most testing of conditions. The first half certainly played almost in its entirety with heavy rain. Rain that continues to fall here at Kiwitea Park, but with less force certainly than we've seen earlier in the afternoon. Howison, he can influence a game. So Manicum underhits the pass and really puts his team back on their heels. That's poor from Blake. Gariga now. Good challenge from Den Hire. Gosh, these two teams, it's such a midfield battle. Really at times is an arm wrestle in there. Mitchell, a little confusion. I think Mitchell thought Tracy was coming to collect that.
Come on, Joseph, come on.
Lee. Yeah, this will please Auckland United. Lee getting the ball on the halfway line. They're happy with that.
And getting the ball and actually playing it back, you know, be forcing Auckland City back as much as they can, which is they've done for most of the game actually, particularly in this second half. Very rarely have we seen Auckland City player get in behind the back of a defender.
Manicum for Lee. United have plenty back. Lee looking to just roll a slide rule pass for Manicum. Still they have it now. Then Hire flicks it away. Oh, strong challenge, Mitchell. And Nick Waldron right there and points straight at the football. He's had a couple of wholehearted, good old-fashioned centre-back challenges today, as Adam Mitchell, and he's got his timing spot on. Howison had to sit out the 3-0 win over Napier City Rovers with the suspension. De Vries, awkward one, did well. Gariga. De Vries. It's tight stuff, isn't it? Auckland United with plenty back, and they just worry Auckland City out of any threat of a strike on goal, but they do force a corner.
Yeah, I think Auckland United would love to be, you know, Auckland City actually, they play quite well in and around their box when it's quite narrow. Those little touches from De Vries, or if it's in Tade, Manicum, we know. So I think Auckland United would be quite happy if they're forcing
Auckland City into those wide areas.
Tade goes deep, too deep. And all Kiwitea can do is to shepherd that one out over the sideline. Not that that was his intention. Harrison just, if anything, just pulled out of that challenge with Den Hire. And, flag is up for offside, and that will allow Auckland United to make another couple of changes. So William Stephen replaces Andrew Blake. And Somi Penda is on, the man with the longest hyphenated name in the National League Championship, Guy-Frank Somi-Penda, the Canadian. I won't describe it like that the whole time, Harry. But
can you spell that?
It's the first time I've seen Somi Penda, but let's see if he can make an impact for Auckland United. But he's got about 17 minutes and change to do so. Here's Manicum now for City. Lee. There it is, the cutback onto the left foot. Rolls it across. Oh, it's a carbon copy of the first half goal. That is instant replay. We are back to the 80s, top of the pops. Lee just rolls it across the edge of the area, and Tade is there. We've seen it before.
My word, it was almost like an action replay, wasn't it? Lee cutting in from the left, finding Tade from outside the box. And a wonderful finish again from the Auckland City captain. Mac Waite absolutely livid with his players, his defenders in front of him, because it was quite a congested area around the box too. But Tade, you can't leave him alone. You can't give him an inch of space. One touch, first touch, not even one touch. It was or a touch and then to set himself up. It was his first touch, and he just picked the back of the net from Mac Waite.
Oh, goodness me. Jose Figueira will be disappointed. They've done such a good job for the most part on Lee, but credit Joe Lee in what has been perhaps a reasonably quiet performance. The two moments he's injected himself into the game have arguably been the two biggest moments for Auckland City.
You see, every time Joe Lee gets the ball, or has had the ball in most of the possession that he has had, he's cut inside on that left foot, you know. So I think Auckland United, particularly Curtis Mogg, you know, on this left-hand side, what do you want to do? You want to show him the outside. You know, you don't want him cutting back on his left. And as I was saying before, Auckland United need to force Auckland City into those wide areas and close the space down. You let them come inside. 2 goals already this afternoon. There's a number of other chances where, you know, Manicum, Tade, Kilcolly have had close contact in and around the box, or they've got a shot away from that sort of just outside the 18-yard box. So they love to play with the ball, Auckland City, in and around in front of the 18-yard box. 2 goals today proves that.
Den High with a lovely pass for Zambrano, and then the shot on goal from the substitute Stephen, comfortable for Tracy.
Come on, rise up, option, rise up.
These two teams, in terms of their defensive records, have both came into the match having conceded 3 goals. And still, they say, stay level pegging in that regard. Auckland City, are they finishing with the wet sail? Howison. Auckland City, a little spring in the step. Den Hire too strong for Manicum. Auckland City want the free kick. Nothing given. Machuka.
Offside.
And Stephen down to the byline, and now perhaps a chance for Auckland City to break, but just got a little tangled up, did Manikim, and now he does win the free kick.
Good guys, good there, man. Good, good. Good, Riser. Stay on it. Stay on it. Any.
And the conditions that had shown signs of abating a little, that rain continues to fall. Brotherton wriggles clear of a challenge, and in the background has left Reg Marathi prone on the ground. Play continues. Carey, and that's where Marathi should be. Lee exploiting the space. Lee into the area. Who does it fall to? De Vries, and he can't find an effective pass. And Auckland United might do well just to get that out of play. And Reg Marathi is still down and may well have been trod on. Brotherton goes across just to acknowledge, but might have copped an accidental boot on the hand here, Reg Marathi. Oof. The left foot of Brotherton, no intent at all.
Obviously unintentional, yeah, but yeah. Just unfortunate.
Well, that's going to sting. That's going to hurt. Umbrellas out in force. What has been a good crowd. Disappointing for them, the weather conditions. Thumbs up from the physio. So Reg Marathi remonstrating with Nick Waldron, but absolutely no intent there from Brotherton. Just looking to hurdle Marathi.
Good, Aiden, eh? Good, Aiden, very good. Ojo la contra, Gerard, eh?
So he'll get back out there, no doubt. And United need him.
Aiden, carry, carry. Eddie, al pocket, Eddie, ven al pocket.
Oh, given away. Oh. Chance here now. Machuka into the area. Has he rolled that over the line? He has. That is catastrophe for Auckland City. Oh my goodness, what a lapse in concentration. And the substitute makes them pay the ultimate price. United back in front.
What a dreadful mistake here at the back for Auckland City. Misplaced pass. Connor Tracy caught off his line. Soma Panda there just couldn't believe his luck. And managed just to trickle that one over the line, wasn't it, in the end? Nonetheless, it was enough for Auckland United. Again, the pendulum swings, doesn't it?
Yeah, and I do apologise in my excitement. I got the wrong sub. It is Soma Penda. Initially was listed to be playing in 19. He's out there wearing 12. And has given Auckland United the lead. You sense that we might not be done here in terms of the scoreboard. Howison for De Vries. Auckland City certainly with the firepower, but they keep putting themselves in a tough situation. They've been behind now on 3 occasions.
I think it was unfortunate for, I think it was Aidan Carey. It was also the substitute that underhit that pass.
Clever from Howison. Oh, he's gone past 2 or 3. And eventually the whistle had to be blown there. Take your pick. 1, 2, 3 sort of clips of Howison. And Canadian's going to get a yellow card for his troubles. into the penalty area. Connor Tracy with regulation save.
Gerard, estigues més de Honda. Quan estem atacant.
I do apologise, folks, if there's a little confusion over player identity at times. The official team list that we were given differs from the numbers that a couple of players are wearing out on the park. So, as Tade, we know this is Tade. Oh my goodness! And for Emi Tade, that's actually a poor miss.
Yeah, I actually think wasn't hitting the target from that strike from Emiliano Tade. Yeah, it looked like it was going wide past the post to Mac Waite.
And I'm being cruel to be kind there. That's simply a harsh judgment based on a very good player. That you expect that to nestle in the back of the net for a hat-trick. But they are continuing to press. Our Auckland City, and Waite doesn't deal with the corner. Mitchell, Carey, who was at fault in the concession of the third goal. And he gives possession away again. Carey does well to wriggle clear on that occasion. Now De Vries, who's come deep into midfield. Tade turns, thought of the shot, De Vries. De Vries squares the ball and cleared away. Auckland City, should Ryan De Vries have pulled the trigger there. Raniga got the opportunity to clear when perhaps De Vries might have put Mac Waite under pressure had he shot on goal. As it is, Mac Waite is injured, and I think, Harry, this is from the corner.
Yeah, well, this is De Vries again, looking to find, it was Manikim, there was another player just to the left of Manikim there. Could he have chosen to go himself? I don't know from that sort of angle. But Auckland United able to scramble it clear in the end. Looks like it's just the right knee of Mac Waite getting a bit of treatment there. We've certainly seen Auckland City come back from, that game against Birkenhead a couple of weeks ago it was the Tade show on that occasion as well, shooting from outside the box. Already 2 goals from outside the box for Emiliano Tade this afternoon.
Mac Waite's getting some serious attention and strapping. Looks to be the right knee. Physio just blocking our view for the moment. So, ill afford to want to lose Mac Waite at this late stage. Auckland City, less than 5 minutes of regulation time to play. And may well be a little added time with a couple of injuries as Den Hire cops a size 10 to the nose. And just confirmation, and again I do apologise that it is Guy Frank Asome Penda wearing 12, listed as wearing 19. So it is the Canadian, as you described, I think, Harry, correctly on the first occasion, who has the winning goal to his name. Here he is, big unit too, isn't he? Slides a pass now for Redfern. Has support, and that is Machuka wearing 22 as listed. And out over the goal line. And Auckland City looking to get on with it quickly. United must concentrate, and yet they must not stop playing. Even 5 or 6 minutes sitting back against Auckland City is dangerous. The rain becomes heavier again. Lee been involved in both goals for Emitade. Gariga, well, it's uncharacteristic, but they are under pressure, Auckland City. It was a mistake that led to the third goal, and Gariga turns it over cheaply in midfield. Look at the rain again. It is back with a vengeance, almost putting an exclamation mark on this match this afternoon. Manikim. Space down this right wing side now for Kerry. Wouldn't he love to be involved in a positive moment now for Auckland City? It's a great ball looking for Lee, but well read by Mogg. That's great defensive work.
Yeah, you can see what Kerry was trying to do is play Joe Lee in behind Curtis Mogg, but good defending from Mogg. I think he's had a solid game this afternoon, Curtis Mogg. You know, Joe Lee's looked lively, but you know, it's every time I think 9 times out of 10 when he's got the ball, he has looked to play inside to in and around the box, especially. We saw it with the almost identical for both goals for Auckland City this afternoon.
Stephen off the bench, fresh legs, and sets sail for the corner flag maybe. Keeps it in play, just, and then lunges in at Howison, but it has crossed that sideline. Auckland City about to lose for the second time, and the second time only this season against the same opponent. Have they found their kryptonite? United throw. Riera was ready to get out there. Probably still pretty handy in the five-a-side at training. So we are approaching the 90-minute mark, and the officials have updated that 4 minutes of added time that we are showing you, and they've just done so. We are now being told from the sideline that there will be a minimum 5 minutes added. Auckland City, it's about that time, isn't it? They've just got to be very direct. And Mac Waite just collapses onto the football. Has to be careful. The referee will be ever more vigilant with time at this late stage of proceedings. No such risk for Connor Tracy. He'll treat the football like a hot potato. Turned over. Machuca. Zambrano opened the scoring this afternoon. Marathi shows no interest at all in the cross and says to Howison, come get it. And then delivers far post. Machuca. Oh, a good touch there, and he has a volley on goal.
Or even first-time header as well. I think he was caught between, it's too much time. And really, do I take it on my chest or do I hit it first time?
He's got it back again, and they have no inclination at all now, Auckland United, to go forward with any real purpose. Howison evades a challenge, and now Auckland City with a chance on the counter. Tade, who else? Absolutely slide rule accuracy. Lee, guess what? Cuts back onto the left foot. Tade squares it. Howison, it's turned over. And United anywhere will do except to a white shirt. And it's turned over again by Gariga. He turns in frustration to his countryman, Albert Riera. DeVries for Howison. For Tade, and Manicum, I think, had wandered offside. It won't count. He knew it. His run, I think, was perhaps for the pass had it been made direct to him without the intervention of Emiliano Tade. Well, if it stays this way, Harry, these two teams swap places on the table. Auckland United will go ahead of Auckland City. 3 points takes them to 11 and leaves Auckland City on 10. With Wellington Olympic, I should remind you, on top of the table on 12 points after their 5-2 win over Napier earlier this afternoon. Garriga. That's poor from the Spaniard. He's been guilty of turning possession over a couple of times.
Can we play? Reggie, can we get it?
Couple of minutes left in this one, but Wellington Olympic, Harry, they might be watching, having left the park in their win this afternoon. They might be watching and licking their lips at the thought of a top of the table clash next week.
Yeah, absolutely, Andrew. I think the Wellington Olympic and Auckland United clashing next Saturday on the 5th of November in Wellington. So I'm sure Olympic team and be watching this one with anticipation, devising a plan against Auckland United. That'll be an epic clash, I think, for the two. What will more than likely be two teams.
Michael Den Hyer just getting up, trying to shake off a bit of cramp. The tall midfielder wearing the captain's armband with the hamstring injury to Ross Haviland. But they've survived that, have United. They've gone ahead on 3 occasions this afternoon, and they're hoping third time lucky to stay ahead. Tade, when he's in the game, Auckland City are a chance. Lee goes around Stephen. Lee to Manicum. Can he deliver quality ball here? They're scrambling United. Oh, lovely trickery from Manicum. The ball floated over. What a cross. Trying to get there was Garriga. Oh, that was artistry from Dylan Manicum, but without the end result. DeVries. Final seconds now. Auckland City pressing for a late equaliser. Tade looking for a hat-trick. He's forced wide. Have they got time to take the corner?
What a beautiful bit of skill from Dylan Manicum. We talked about that quick feet and those transferable skills from futsal.
This surely is its classic last kick of the game stuff here. So Connor Tracy comes forward. The Auckland City keeper is in the area. This is all or nothing to try and get a share of the points here for Auckland City. Lee delivers. Far post. Waite can't get there. They scramble it away, and it's another corner. It's another corner, and you would think Nick Waldron allows time for this to be taken.
Gee, Mac Waite, if you're going to come for, you've actually got to come and get it. He was miles away from that one. I know it's a congested area, but you either got to rely and trust those defenders in front of you, or you've just got to barge your way out and get a fist to that ball.
Connor Tracy stays forward. Tade to deliver. Right at the keeper, away by Den Hyer. And there's no one back, and it doesn't matter. It would have been a runaway goal, but it doesn't matter. Auckland United, for the second time this season, prove too good for Auckland City. It's their second loss in all matches, Auckland City. Both have come at the hands of Auckland United, and Jose Figueira has the blueprint, has the master plan. He has the edge over Albert Riera. And now they have the edge on Auckland City on the table. Wellington Olympic lead the table. United have jumped into second place. They win it this afternoon at Kiwitea Park, 3-2. Well, a very even encounter, Harry, but you can't argue. Auckland United deserving of the win this afternoon. Auckland City will look back on a couple of sloppy moments defensively.
Yeah, thoroughly enjoyed the match this afternoon, Andrew. Two teams obviously coming into this one unbeaten. Crosstown rivals, so you've got that kind of that intensity or that nature of a derby as well. But thoroughly enjoyed it. Two good footballing sides. I think Auckland United, for me, deserved to come out on top with the way they fought back after Auckland City got themselves back into the game on two occasions with two great goals from Emiliano Tade. But at the end of the day, I think they deserved to take this one out 3-2.
So the Dominion Road Derby has gone the way of the Southerners. And Southerners by 4 kilometres, but they win at 3-2. So confirmation that they will move to second on the table. Auckland United leapfrogging Auckland City. Wellington Olympic winning 5-2 this afternoon on top of the table in a pretty congested looking table as well. Now it's very even. Let's have a look at some of the results and confirm in the National Women's League. Suburbs 4-2 winners over Western Springs, top of the table clash. Canterbury United have won over Capital Football this afternoon, 2-0. And tomorrow, back here at this venue, it's Central taking on Auckland United. And that is a confirmation of the women's table through halfway through 8 rounds of the National Women's League, and it's Suburbs running away with it from Springs. And Canterbury United will be pleased with that result to get themselves into the top 4 mix. Auckland United can also climb the table if they can win tomorrow. So men's results, Wellington Olympic scoring goals for fun, 5-2 winners over Napier City Rovers. Miramar 3-2 over the Phoenix Reserves. And same scoreline, but it was the home team winning at Kiwitea Park here. Auckland United 3, Auckland City 2. So tomorrow Birkenhead's their chance to climb the table up against Cashmere Technical at Shepherd's Park, 2:30 tomorrow on Sky Sport Next. And also covering the action from Christchurch with Christchurch United up against Melville. And there is the men's table. So Birkenhead with a chance now, as I say, to join Auckland City if they can win tomorrow. Cashmere want to get in the mix as well. Christchurch desperate for their first win of the campaign, but Olympic lead from United and Auckland City, the top 3, partway through round 5. Well, plenty of goals, plenty of action, plenty of rain in Auckland City, and it looks likely to be with us for the next 24 hours or so. And on that note, Harry, good luck running the bridge tomorrow morning. Andrew Dewhurst saying farewell from Kiwitea Park on behalf of Harry Nata and the team. We'll see you next time on Sky Sport Next.